How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you my review for the first episode of Solo Leveling, entitled I'm Used to It. Before I go any further, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews just like this one. If you want to support me even further, go ahead and go in the description and subscribe to the Patreon. So, this show is based off of I guess it's fair to say a hit manhwa, not manga, manhwa, which is the Korean version of manga, called Solo Leveling. You got a main character here who is going to get very powerful very soon. That's not what we see in this first episode, though. So, where does this take place? Well, it takes place in South Korea, just kind of like I guess just like where the book is based, right? It's good. The book, and I'm not going to act like I read all of it. I do know what happens in it. I do my research, right? But book does seem like a bit of a power trip, a power fantasy in a way. And it's funny because if you pay attention, at least to this first episode, I don't know. I thought I read the first. I remember reading the first chapter when it was on web. Was that Webtoons? I remember reading the first chapter of it where it stops right where this part stops. And it's kind of funny how things are presented here. Very RPG. Literally, it you would think it's an isekai, right? Kind of like Skeleton Warrior. You would think this is an isekai based on a game. What's the other one? Overlord. But no, the premise is 10 years ago to the present day right here. 10 years ago, these gates start appearing all over the world. These swirly, twirly gates. And inside of these beings called magical creatures. I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm going to assume that the Korean for it, because by the way, this is an anime, Japanese anime. Simultaneously English and Japanese, which is pretty interesting. But just the fact that they're just called magical creatures, no special name, just magical creatures. Given, Gate's been on my to-do list, my to-watch list, and it's given a lot of Gate vibes, especially with the whole conventional weapons don't work against them, which I'm gonna have to see us flat out just go, I'm sorry, this is some bullshit, right? I can see if there's like scores and scores of these things, and then let's say you got a werewolf, which we see a werewolf in here. It's like, oh man, werewolf in mythological lore can't be, it gets really hurt by silver things and silver bullets and magic. So the bullets would hurt it, but it wouldn't take it out. That is the premises are set up to create this believable world. So conventional weapons don't work, but all of a sudden people start awakening. They've had awakenings and people get different abilities, right? And I'm just going flat out with you, especially when I first saw the first scene where the ship's fired on that island. And then you see people who look like traditional. First word comes to mind is Final Fantasy, but RPGs. There's mages, wizards, clerics. One dude has a mace who's an S-class hunter. We're getting to that second. Looks like a paladin. And it looks like the berserker or the barbarian class. And it's barbarian class, but we would call them berserkers too. Barbarian class in D&D. You got that class, and then you got the guy who looks like a rogue with the nice Wolverine claws. I will get to that scene in a minute. That was probably the best scene in this first episode, period. But everybody got these different classes. They're basically classes. I'm just gonna call them classes. And they're called hunters, because now they start sending people into here that have these abilities because only they can beat them. And hunters have ranks that start, obviously you have something above A, right? Even when you're playing spades, the Joker beats the spade, right? It beats the ace of spades, right? So you have S class, A class, B, C, D, and the lowest is E. There are guilds. We actually see a guild master. And the 3 years ago, it's so weird. You have a 3 years ago intro flashback, and then a 10 years ago explanation flashback. So the 3 years, which is 7 years ago, 7 years forward from the 10 years ago, you see a guild master named Cho. There's another guild master. I'm sorry, his name's Choi. What's the other one? It's a lady. It's a lady. I know I wrote her name down. I'm just gonna have to look at. I think her name's Cho Hong something. Be straight up with you. I don't know how to say Korean names very well. I know the Sung, who's the main character, there's Song, who was the leader for this expedition that Sung went on. There's Joo-hee, the leader of the Hunters Association, Gun-hee. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't like butchering names. I'm gonna do my best, but some of these folks gonna get nicknames. I'm gonna call this not Orihime. She's not Orihime, but Joo-hee is easy to say, but not Orihime. Then this guy named Park. I'm pretty sure Park is gonna die on episode two. I'm gonna watch episode two tonight just to get a jump ahead of everything, but pretty sure Park's gonna die. So Hunters Association, you have hunter classes, and this episode, this is a slow burn, because there's no solo leveling. Because in this lore, you cannot go past your grade, whatever. And there's a big black crystal, and people put your hands on it. It tells you what your rank is. Whatever your rank is, if you're E, you can't level up to D. If you're D, you can't be B to S. None of that. And I have some trepidations with that. I might as well speak my trepidations now as opposed to saving them until later. It's an interesting premise for a story. Those of you who don't know, I like to do some writing. I do some private writing, very much influenced by anime and comics and things like that. And when I think of this, it's smart, right? You go, oh, well, how come people don't use guns? Guns don't work. Okay, that's good. Okay, well, how come there hasn't been somebody that rose above the ranks and been the hero of the world and all these different words? Oh, it's because you can't get higher. And it makes because when we see 3S class hunters are able to take on scores of minor ants, they're giant ants, almost like hunter chimera ants, right? The minor red ants, which are fairly large like lions. They have the massive white ants, right? And I'll just tell you my favorite scene now is where the barbarian berserker dude, they he takes the mandible, rip it off after the rogue does lightning on it, and he kills the thing with his own mandible. Cool as hell. Looks freaking amazing. But by making everyone, so you have a population, some of the population is special, but then you go in here and you go, well, they're special, but they're not really special because no one can rise to be special. So when you get S rank hunters, it's like, damn, how come they just don't send them? Why? How come they don't just send them? How come there's not always like a rank person to go with people on these missions, right? Because the chairman, which I'm glad I highlighted something here. I already mentioned lightning ninja claws because the end of this 3 years ago flashback is where the one guy bulks up, looks like he has a beast aura. And then you have the rogue lightning guy. He gets ninja claws. Badass. The paladin is healing people. That's his job. He's healing people. But hold on. Nope. That's important too. The chairman says to these people, because he's welcoming the new folks. I thought one of them was the main character's sister. No, it's a different person. They're wearing a hoodie, so she's probably going to be important later. He tells them to be a hunter is to risk your life, and if you become one, you get on missions after missions after mission. Don't get complacent. Always be afraid because you can die. So how come you don't always have like high ranking healers on here? Granted, she's a B rank healer. So she's doing her best, healing up as fast as she can. Feels like she only goes on these missions with Song because she likes him. She even tells him, after all this, after the trouble you put me through, take me on a date. So let me give you some more lore first. We're going to get this lore out the way because you can tell this was the author wanted to get this all out the way. Or maybe whoever showrunners are wanted to get this all out the way, which is kind of smart, right? It's kind of smart. Someone's going to explain it again, but it's kind of smart. You have these two types of crystals. You got crystal essences and monocrystals. Monocrystals do not yield the same amount of energy as crystal essences because crystal essences can be used to make better gear that can be used to hunt these magical beings in these dungeons that pop up and appear. Now, here's the thing. Hunters, you kill a thing, you get it, you got the crystal. I can trade in the crystal for better gear that is made out of other crystals. When you're stuck in a loop like Sung, our main character, who's called the weakest hunter in the world because on an E rank mission, he almost dies. Yeah. And matter of fact, on most of his E rank missions, because he's not going to go any higher, he almost dies every single time, which prompts him for the oh shit moment at the end of this episode. But every mission he almost dies, she's even pissed at him, like, hey, should have told me, I would have went, I would have healed you, blah 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 blah. You need healers, because when they think, well, if they put him on this mission is going to be easy. Obviously not. And so this guy's living a sad perpetual life. We get his backstory in this episode too. It's 10 years ago. His dad vanished. Mom is in the hospital sick. Sister's gonna go to college. He's got to be a hunter, right? I need to be a hunter so I can provide for my family. So he's supposed to feel a connection there. My issue is knowing what's gonna come. I really hope you guys factor it in a way to make us still like this dude. Please don't Aaron Yeager this if you don't know what I'm talking about. Not gonna explain it. Just don't Aaron Yeager this. Probably it's gonna be Aaron Yeagered based on the things that I like dabbling in things, but not fully going into it unless I already have in the past, just because I want to be surprised a little bit. Although sometimes I'm still surprised, but regardless of such, our main character is doing it for the family. He even admits towards the end of this episode, with this crazy life or death situation, it is high risk and no reward. And you just see him in the background, just waiting to see, oh, there's a goblin. And he killed a goblin. He got one. And then another popped up and he almost died. But you see I guess it might have been a prior mission, he jumps up and he stabs it because he's looking for an opportunity. And he's only can get enough for just this one jank ass knife. I do think it would be funny if that jank ass knife becomes like the symbol for him and he ends up upgrading the jank ass knife throughout this whole thing. But yes, this is the world of Solo Leveling. An isekai that's not an isekai, that probably should have been an isekai, just for some of the stuff to. I know it's gonna happen next. Why it's called Solo Leveling? Probably gonna see it in the next episode. We will see it in the next epised. But I just found it. Oh, I just found it funny. Found her name. Her name is Hae-in. I'm gonna call her Chi because first initial for each part of that name, Chi. Chi. So shit hits the fan when there's someone finds another tunnel after they killed the dungeon boss. Usually these dungeons are over and everything after they kill the dungeon boss, and they typically have an hour when these things pop up. So they've been in there 40 minutes. They got 20 minutes left. They took a vote. Who wants to go down the tunnel, guys? And 6 say no because rules dictate the leader, whose name is Song. Rules dictate they usually fall back, ask headquarters what to do next. But they're like, hey, there might be some extra loot. They're going to bring in the big wigs and they're going to get the other loot. There wasn't a lot of loot here for us. These are how these people make a living. Remember, Park? Told you about Park? Park has been gone for a minute. He come back. His wife has a baby. Oh, man, you might not see that baby. Because with dumbass Sung, he's dumb in this, guys. I'm just going to say he's dumb. He goes, no, I got to do it. I need the money. Okay. They go in. He apologizes to her because obviously she doesn't want to do it. And as soon as they get in, these doors close, and then craziness ensues. Bunch of stone statues around. There's one in the middle. You've probably seen memes, at least 2 memes about this. You had to. And so they go in. Wait a minute. They go in. There's a circle in the middle. There's a bunch of stone statues. One stone statue looked like a woman go, ah. I would have ran back out as soon as I was like, nope. I'm noping out. Our leader reads these commandments. First one is revere God. Second one is praise God. There's probably another one, but then he finishes at the end. If you don't abide by the laws, you will not leave alive. And the doors close. Now here is where one guy goes, God dang it, guys. I didn't want to be stuck in here. I told you we shouldn't have done this. All you guys are just going to be greedy. And he goes to the door. One of stone statues picks up the axe, cleaves him from here to here. He was a D rank hunter. I like the fact that Song, that's one thing that I do like. Song in his head is analyzing, going, that dude's a D rank hunter. That means that thing easily killed him. That means it's easily stronger than a D rank. Oh no, we're all gonna die. And so everyone starts freaking out. Now here, where Song could have warned them earlier, could have said something earlier. Not Orihime goes, the statue looked at me. What do you mean? The biggest one in there, the big one with the eyes. And let me give some praise here. This is Studio A1. A1 also does Mashal. Got to give some praise here. You know, usually in anime, lots of times in cartoons, if a thing's going to move, it is drawn differently. You know, you notice the ground is a little bit different color. Even it happens in anime too, if we're going to be honest. Like a background will be a matte color, stagnant, and sometimes you get things that are a little bit more lively. Even if things are blown up off screen, they're supposed to be in the area, those are a different color. She tells this dude, the statue looked at her, why in a world where magical gates opened up a decade ago? This dude has to at least be, 17? So you remember when these things opened up. These things open up a decade ago. Magical beings come through. Now all of a sudden people have special powers. My thing is he don't even have no powers. Like I'm just E rank. It just says I'm E. E for everybody. He can catch all the hands, right? Why is a stone statue's eyes moving hard to believe? That is one of the things. And you all who have seen my reviews, I complain about shit like this all the time. We're like, we're in a world, but we're in this magical world, but a dragon existing? Pshaw. That dude's a cyclops, a literal one-eyed cyclops, and you're laughing at me about a dragon. We live in a world where people can throw fireballs and are mages and fight giant killer ants all the time, and a statue moving its eyes to look at me, that is unbelievable. But then again, shit hits the fan. The giant thing, as soon as he goes, maybe it's because of me being in life. There are situations that I knew what was going to happen next. Everybody get down. Obliterates several people. We see a charred hand on the ground. We see one guy turn into a skeleton. They ain't come back. Everybody's freaking out because they gonna die. And that's where the episode ends. They gonna die. I really don't have much else to add to this. This is literally a first episode, a classic slow burn. If I can compare it to anything, think about Yu Yu Hakusho if you've seen it, right? Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those shows, top show by the way, where the first episode, it's a slow burn. You go, oh, okay. In English, it's called, Ghost Files, Ghost Hunters. He's a detective guy. And you can see at the beginning, it's like, oh man, he died saving a kid. So now he has to do a thing to make sure his body doesn't actually die. And then he's got to get back to his body. Oh, and then he's going to do some detective stuff. And then the show starts to become more and more and more. I have a feeling that that's what this is going to do. I typically give things 5 episodes until I start being like super harsh on it, or say to myself if I can stand watching it any further. I'm down for a slow burn. This is fine. I guess for my own personal cinema sin, trademark. For my own personal cinema sin, it's just the whole eye thing moving. That's annoying to me. That just not believing that. I'll give this a 4 out of 5. This wasn't offensive. The art is decent. The voice acting is voice acting. People are doing their best to say names. I'm doing my best to remember names. The one girl, Chi, I'm calling her Chi Hae-in. I'm calling Chi. Chi is apparently another S rank hunter. who, I'm gonna spoil this now. Eventually, I believe she's a guild master, because these people make guilds and they try to recruit hunters. Matter of fact, the guy Choi, he's the guild master of whatever the name his guild is. He was telling his guys on the phone, his recruiters, like, "Hey, yeah, no, I don't care about the age or the gender, because I guess people can awaken their powers even when they're older. Like they didn't get it when they were 20. Now I'm 30. Boom, I got my power." She said, "Age or gender, I don't care. Bring them in, inclusive." Uh, Miss Chi here stops purse snatchers from purse snatching the one girl that we saw. And she's really cool about it too. She grabs it, does backflip and everything else. They crash their little moped, and she puts her hat back on. Everybody says, "Ah, that's Chi." And then she's like, "Here's the purse," pulls the hat, flip, fluty flip, runs away like a ninja. So obviously she's going to be important in the future. But yeah, this seems interesting. It's a 4 out of 5 from me. Not a bad start. It's pretty interesting that you info dumped on the first episode, but I can't take any points away from that. Yeah, I can't take any points away from that, because it's show is telling you this is what it's about. Let me tell a story. At least I hope that's what it says, right? So next episode is If I Had One More Chance. He's probably gonna get that one more chance. I look forward to telling you about that one more chance. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you a fan of this series? Have you read all of it? Have you read it? Have you seen it before? I've seen a couple books in the grocery store. Actually, now a place they're selling mangas again. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos like this. And I appreciate each and every last one of you. Be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Stay warm out there. Stay safe out there. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, all right? Remember, there are people out there that care about you. So if you're feeling, down, out, depressed, anything, reach out to somebody. All right? There are people that rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. My social media is in the description below. Feel free to give me a follow. And if you want to support me, my Patreon link is down below as well. Until next time, guys, I'm expecting good things from this, because this has been hyped up for so long. So let's see. Catch you in the next dungeon.